Like it or not, Solana, Sol, has been and is likely to continue to be one of the best performing assets in the cryptocurrency space, up 24x from its bear market low that obviously came on the back end of the FTX crash. In this video, what I want to do is perhaps explain why I believe Solana has done so well, why it's likely to continue to do so well. And I think it has a lot to do with the coming Ethereum ETF and then eventually altcoin ETFs. I think Solana is the first in line in regards to the altcoins. And I'm going to show you why it is I believe this. Then we're going to be diving over to the charts. I'm going to be trying to give you guys a rough price prediction on Solana for this bull market. And I think those of you that hold Solana or perhaps are interested in holding it are going to enjoy that. And then we're going to be looking at Solana BTC, which shows promising signs just like Solana against the US dollar. So we have quite a lot to get into in this video. We don't really talk about Solana that much on the channel. I have my beefs with it, but I always think when it comes to investing, you should leave your biases at the door and invest in things that are going to make you money. I think that is the entire game of investing, and your biases will often hold you back from doing that. Now, those of you that follow me regularly will know that we missed out on that amazing long on Solana around about $17. We just slightly went over my risk management and got out just before it did that rally. So Solana really for me is a missed opportunity. However, I do think it's got a long way to go, and I want to share that with you in this video. So let's dive over to a nice clean Solana chart to start the video off. And you can see from the lows, and this of course was on the back end of FTX's involvement, Solana is up 24%. Now that's a very impressive return on investment in under 2 years. Now, there's a little bit of skepticism I have in regards to Solana and the whole FTX debacle. I wasn't a big fan that Sam Bankman-Fried was largely behind and a major player in just how well Solana did in the last cycle. And it did lead me to have some doubts in regards to its recovery. However, I think there's some shenanigans going on with Solana in regards to the involvement in it. So the people who are likely behind it and the largest holders of it. And the fact that they probably had a lot to do with what took place with FTX. I kind of feel like FTX was a bit of a Trojan horse. And essentially, there could be a lot of sort of insider manipulation in regards to actually ending up with the lion's share of Solana to send it in the direction that it is now in. I think a lot of institutions have maybe accumulated Solana through the likes of Grayscale's Digital Large Cap Fund, their Solana Trust, and also the likes of Bitwise's BITW, which is a top 10 crypto index, which Solana is the third largest coin. And there's a common theme here after, of course, Bitcoin and Ethereum. So I believe that Solana is status. That's why it's done as well as it has. I think from a blockchain point of view, I have a little bit of doubts on it fundamentally, just given the fact that we see constant halts or we see a lot of missed transactions. There's a lot of things that give me cause for concern. Now, this is not me hating on Solana. Like I said, it's done well. We have always pointed that out and that it's likely going to continue to do so. And actually where it is today, there may be a rough pattern that we can actually see Solana nearly do a 10x from where it currently is. And I think all of this is going to come on the back end of it having its own ETF. We are going to see an Ethereum ETF. I do believe that's going to become a reality. I think the ETH BTC chart is signaling this, and also the ETH dominance chart. And I think there's some really promising signs in regards to Solana against Bitcoin that we're going to view. So let's maybe start on why I think Solana has done so well. Okay, we mentioned the kind of what I can't prove shenanigans that may have taken place behind the scenes with the whole FTX and the kind of hostile takeover of the cryptocurrency space. However, I think that if we look at the likes of Grayscale's Digital Large Cap Fund, this is why I think you are going to end up with a Solana ETF a lot sooner than you'll end up with many others. So this is GDLC, and this is their Digital Large Cap Fund, so Grayscale's Digital Large Cap Fund. And you can see, to go down to holdings, Solana is their third largest holding. Now, Grayscale has seen the most volume in terms of a Bitcoin ETF. They're not just going to stop at Bitcoin. They are going to, and they have already filed and actually amended last week their Ethereum ETF. And I don't think they're going to stop there. I think they're going to get as many through the door as possible. I think Solana is going to be the first ETF. There might be a couple that gets in the door. And I think institutions know that, thus why we've seen Solana's price do as well as it has. And it's not just Grayscale that seem to have it in this order. It's also Bitwise's. So Bitwise also offer a Bitcoin spot ETF. They're not just going to stop there. They have a top 10 crypto index fund, kind of similar to the large cap fund. And you can see Solana is at a similar percentage, also their third largest holding. Also 21 shares. So ARK's vehicles, they offer exchange traded products in Europe of Solana. it's very likely you're going to end up with the Solana ETF, which is perhaps what we're seeing in regards to the Solana BTC chart, which I'm going to talk everybody through now, that could be setting up to gain some serious ground against Bitcoin. So that's sort of why I think Solana has done as well as it has. I think there's things going on behind the scenes. It's status, meaning it's kind of a favorite perhaps of the institutions. Maybe that's because they got their hands on a lot of it with what took place with FTX. And I really do think that whole thing it stunk of financial hitman-esque shenanigans, to be quite honest. It's very interesting who Sam Bankman-Fried was rubbing shoulders with, and there's some fishy business going on there. All that being said, there is a real community behind Solana. It is doing real things. It is pioneering distributed ledger technology in its own way. We know the issues that it's had, but that really hasn't affected things. And again, that's testimony to the fact that we think actually institutional or those kind of players, insiders, are perhaps more behind everything that's going on, and likely going to see it do well as a result of that than many others. And it is partnered with many people. We know it's got its problems, but it doesn't seem to really affect things. But this is not a hate on Solana video. This is a video actually here to tell you that, look, it has done very well and it's going to continue to do so. So I like to break the market into 4 stages. It's something called stage analysis. I think it works absolutely brilliantly. And I think it's the best way for retail investors to trade the markets. And you can see that this was the kind of base that Solana put in. You can see the break of this stage 1 base was on volume. You can see the volume really picking up here, confirming the break. Usually you get a retest, but this was just so strong it went on and above. And today, from the point of break, which was at 27 cents, remember we were trying to catch the long here, it has gone on and is now at $200. And I think it has a long way to go still. So I still believe that there is around about 70 to 80% of this bull market still to come. We don't just derive that opinion on Bitcoin and Bitcoin's chart, which is still the tide that rises and sinks all ships. Of course, other risk assets, more broadly, what we think is going to happen with risk, the kind of macro situation. And we think there's a long way to go for Bitcoin. We've got that 150K target. I think it's likely going to go above and beyond that. And I think, everything aligns. And I think we're really yet to see alt season continue, which begs the question, well, what is Solana going to do, given where it's currently at, given the fact that we think we're still to see a real alt season, and we've still got the majority of this bull market to come. It paints a very bullish picture. Whether you like Solana or not, leave your biases at the door and understand that this is statist. The institutions seem to favor it, that it seems to go Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then Solana. What you think about it is largely irrelevant in regards to the people that have the largest amount of money that will essentially dictate what happens to it. Okay? Including, I've given my personal grievances against it. Irrelevant when you're looking at investing. Now, we like to, if I was to sort of coin myself in regards to a technical analyzer, I would say I'm a traditional technical analyst. Okay? Which means I trade traditional technical patterns, or more invest on the back end of, and I use very simplistic means to identify markets like stage analysis, which breaks the market into 4 stages. You've got a base, you've got an uptrend, you've got a top, and you've got a downtrend. It's very simple to do, and it works. We've had huge success. We've also had huge success with technical patterns. So Solana may be forming an inverse head and shoulders, and may have already formed it. Now, the skepticism that I have is in regards to this left armpit, because it's not a perfect head and shoulders. And you will see some people, try and draw like a kind of slightly slanted head and shoulders and look at it in regards to this. I probably choose not to do that because you get much the same target and just take it from the left armpit. You can see clear interaction. I can show you guys some very quick examples in just a second in regards to an unperfect, remember this is crypto, very volatile, left shoulder that still led to the fruition of the pattern playing out. So if this is a left shoulder and now a right, smaller, shallower, very respectful of the low of the right shoulder, left shoulder, right shoulder, this would make this your left shoulder. This would be your head. Very complex head. There are patterns within this. And then this would be your right shoulder over here. That is now set up and broken very confirmingly on volume. So you always want to see volume on the point of break. And you can see your volume coming in here. It's not massive, but it is 2x the prior volume session, the prior session where we saw this right shoulder form. You can see the volume dropped off, and then you get people pushing it through this key level of support, which could mean as Solana approaches all-time highs that it may want to come back and find some sort of a retest before then seeing continuation. However, it may not. But if this is a correct pattern that we're identifying, and here comes the Solana price prediction, you may be, I'll just make sure I've got this on log, looking at a sub, or we'll call it a 2K Solana price prediction. Which I actually think could be in the realms of possibility. I think this is going to be a bull market that sees the crypto total market cap get to the trillions. It's already in the trillions, but the tens of trillions potentially. If you look at just how well the Bitcoin ETFs have gone in regards to, for example, how gold's ETFs went. So far, within 2 months, we saw $10 billion of volume in BlackRock's iShares. It took gold 2 years to do that. Now, I know it's a very inflated world since gold offered its ETF back in 2004. But, you know, I think there's a lot more money that can flow into these assets. So there is this possibility that it's very common once you break, you've not really had a perfect retest, that you might want to come back for a retest and see that period of consolidation. May's coming up, bit of an interesting month. I'm taking a bit of a broader scope in regards to the crypto market, where it's at, and looking at what may be on the cards for this month. But this, I think, is very plausible in actual fact. And I think when we dive over to the Sol BTC chart, it's very much painting probably a more perfect picture, to be quite honest with you. You know, in regards to, okay, the right shoulder wasn't perfectly compliant, but the pattern, I believe, is still present. And this lines up with what we think is going to happen with Ethereum, the ETF, and then what that's going to mean for the broader altcoin market. You've got to think, if Ethereum has an ETF and the SEC approve it, they have a lot less ground to not approve other altcoins, because they have to weigh them up. You know, the lawsuits that they have, there's an element of real doubt that gets cast in there. And you can see double bottom. You can see lots of things within this pattern. You can also see the break on volume. And this is also looking likely to gain ground against Bitcoin. So one Solana today is currently worth 0.002 Bitcoin. It could be looking to move all the way to 0.01 Bitcoin, which gives you potentially, depending on where Bitcoin's price is, a similar-ish price prediction. Of course, you can't really tell if you were to base it on today's price to what we're looking at on the USD chart. So it's always good when you see confluence with patterns, when you see, you know, Solana against different assets looking to gain ground. It kind of backs up what we're looking at on the dollar terms. You have just taken this level, you have just broken this right shoulder and kind of completed it. Typically, once you take a key level of significance, you do get a period of rest, a period of pullback before you then see continuation. So that is my blueprint and price prediction for Solana. I think it's a very nice one, nice big round number, also 2K. That puts Solana at a 10x, which would mean from its market low, it went on and did, it's already done 25% from the low, could be looking to do 240x. So in terms of percentages, it's 24,844. That is an amazing return on investment. Again, I do believe that Solana is institutionally chosen. That's the price prediction we're going to give for Solana in this bull market. I don't think that's going to take place necessarily in 2024, potentially going into 2025. But I do see it doing well. That's a technical roadmap that we're sort of outlining for it. And we'll see if that target gets met. So around about the $2,000 mark is potentially where I see Solana going. For the reasons that I stated at the start of the video, there's going to be a lot of ETF involvement, and we have done videos on why we think an Ethereum ETF is coming and why that's technically signaled. Guys, that's all I've got for you in this video. If you enjoyed the content, like us, appreciate it. So as a comment, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And on that note, I'm going to love and leave you. Thanks a lot for watching. See you all in the next YouTube video.